Hello everyone, this is Linkimus Prime, and this is going to be my first ever movie review. And today we are talking about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Now this is going to start off as a spoiler-free review, but it is going to get into spoilers later on, so be warned. But I do want to start off by saying that this movie was so amazing. I cannot tell you how long it has been that I felt the satisfaction of coming out of a Marvel movie absolutely happy. I'm gonna go as far as to say that I would put this movie in a separate category because I don't want to compare it to any other Marvel movie that's been made, well, yeah, at least except for the first Black Panther movie. And yes, the movie does have flaws, but the majority of the movie is just incredible. The CGI was not missed at all, except for one thing, and I'll get into that later, but majority of the CGI, just the visuals, was absolutely gorgeous. They did an outstanding job with this. The characters were 100% well written, and there were some times where the movie did drag a little bit, but they still found a way to manage to keep the story flowing, which I do highly appreciate. And most importantly, if you are going to go see this movie, 100% bring tissues with you. It is a tearjerker. But most importantly, keep this in mind. It is still based off of the comics, but it is also a tribute film. So, I'm not going to be hard on this, and there's really not a lot to be hard on this movie about because it's just that good. But overall, in my opinion, I think this has to be the perfect tribute film that I've ever seen.
And quite frankly, I think that Chadwick Boseman would have been really proud to see how this movie turned out. So, honestly, I would 100% recommend going to see this movie. It is absolutely worth it. It is a long film, though. I will say that. It is almost 3 hours long. Well, that's if you're also counting, credits and stuff. But it is, at current runtime, at about 2 hours and 45 minutes. So, it is a long film, but it's worth it. But anyways, that's pretty much my spoiler-free review. So, let's get down to the spoiler review. The movie starts off with the death of King T'Challa. And for over a year, everyone is absolutely grief-stricken. And the person that it affects most is Shuri. Shuri immerses herself in her own work to pretty much get her mind off of the death of her brother. But everyone else around her is trying to get her to cope with this loss. Now, during this, there is a world power struggle that is occurring over the usage of vibranium. Other countries are wanting to get their hands on vibranium, but the Wakandans do not want that to happen due to the consequences of that factor. And let's be real here, lots of things could happen if you put the wrong thing in the wrong hands. So Wakanda wants to let the world know that they are not going to be sharing anything in terms of vibranium. But during this time, an excavation team actually discovers that there's vibranium outside of Wakanda. But soon after, the excavation is interrupted by the Talokan. And this is where we introduce Namor the Submariner. In my opinion, I think Namor was a really well-written villain. I would rather consider him more of an anti-hero than a villain. And this is mainly due to his outlook. Now, Namor wants to form an alliance with Wakanda. But in doing this, he wants to make sure that humanity doesn't gain control of vibranium, which could also mean potentially destroying majority of humanity. So he wants to gain an alliance between the Talokan and the Wakandans to basically wage war against humanity. But Shuri does not want that. Neither does any other Wakandan want that either. And with the death of one of the Talokan, Namor and the rest of his people decide to wage war on Wakanda. In this, Namor kills the Queen of Wakanda, pretty much leaving Shuri in charge of everything. And now that Shuri has pretty much lost everyone in her family, she decides to seek vengeance against Namor. Now, recalling the events from the first Black Panther movie, Eric Killmonger destroyed pretty much the entirety of the herb that turns you into the Black Panther. So this leaves Shuri to try to recreate it. And the way she does so is actually pretty cool in my opinion. And she uses science to do so. Now, Shuri does awaken in the ancestral realm, but she's meted by someone highly unexpected. That someone being Eric Killmonger. Yeah, that'll definitely help her in battle. Not really. In the end, she pretty much develops a strong vengeance against the Talokan. pretty much waging a war against them quite literally in the middle of the ocean. There's a really, really cool fight scene for about 30 minutes between the Talokan and the Wakandans, and it is visually stunning. We are also introduced to Ironheart for the first time, which is really, really cool. Ironheart's character was honestly really enjoyable in my opinion, and the suit of armor just looks so good. But in terms of CGI, however, not so much. I think Ironheart's CGI for the armor was kind of the weakest in terms of all the other CGI in the film, but it wasn't terrible. Now, in the end of the movie, Shuri kind of realizes that the cause that she's fighting for and the cause that Namor is fighting for is honestly pretty much the same cause. And she begins to understand that the battle that they're facing is just utterly pointless. So, in the end, the Wakandans and the Talokan call a truce, and they pretty much become allies. Now, there is an after credit scene, and in this, we actually do learn that T'Challa had a son. Overall, this movie was absolutely amazing, and I know in this review I barely touched the surface of what was in this movie, but there is a lot to cover, and there's only so much I can remember. But overall, I think I'd have to rate this movie easily an 8.9 out of 10. It was just that good. Hell, even at the end of the movie, there was a standing ovation in the audience. But yeah, easily I'd recommend giving this film a watch. It has to be at least the greatest film in Phase 4 currently. But anyways, that is pretty much it for my movie review. Now, it would be greatly appreciated if you guys would let me know how I did in this video. I have never done a movie review before, and that probably definitely shows in this video. So please just kind of, give me some advice maybe in the future if there's anything I can improve on in these videos. But anyways, guys, that is about it for this movie review. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.